Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. Look at the economy holistically. And what I mean by that is not so much like the numbers. Yeah, you look at that, but just look at how people are interacting. Seriously. And, I'm going to be a little bit more philosophical in this video. Yeah, not quite doing the audio podcast anymore. But you got to look at the whole thing, and then you can get an idea, one, what's going on. Two, despite talks of recession and all of that, you can get an idea of what industries arise and what people want. Because ultimately, any economy comes down to supply and demand. People demand something, somebody else supply it. Boom, you make money. And it could be on anything. But you always look at what's connected. What's connected. You got to look at it holistically. Like I remember when I was last working retail, and it was a very warm winter. We had all these winter coats. They didn't sell. They were still there, But it was real warm. People weren't buying them. Now people say, wow, this is messing up some things. It did have an effect on the business. But like some people say, I don't know why these people ain't buying it. It's warm out. They don't need them. Like people in general, people will buy what they want, but also what they need. If you don't need a winter coat, you're not going to buy it. You ain't going to think about it. So weather in a particular place is going to affect it. That's part of the holistic thing. Okay, what's going on? Another thing could be what style is in there. Like I'll give you a great example, beard game. And I always say, I ain't think it'll last that long. I got the video on my main channel. I was like, yeah, it's a fact. I said that and I left it up because I said I own up to anything I said. You know what? I was wrong. I'm kind of glad I was wrong. But look at it from a business perspective. Why are so many guys letting their beards grow out? Now, people will say, okay, you're making this money. Okay, guys, they doing it and stuff. But it's a holistic thing. Main reason guys letting their beards grow out, women like them. So that's not even the economic thing. That's a social thing. Because think about something. A lot of the economy anyway is based on relationships. If you think about like the jewelry industry. Think about it. The jewelry industry or fancy restaurants where people go on dates and everything. A lot of it is based on just people mating. Now, you're having some mating problems now. You're having a lot of relationship problems. That's affecting a lot of the economy that's based on it. Like say if you're anything dealing with weddings, and if there's a drop back in weddings and people getting together, if there's a drop back in people getting together, they ain't getting married. That affects the wedding industry. But actually, I've been seeing some stuff. A lot of people actually, last thing I saw, people starting to try to marry again, despite it. But then what's going on with it, And that's another way of looking at it. If people all of a sudden, like say, okay, I'm known mainly for dealing with relationships. People start getting together more like they used to. All of a sudden, that affects other things. Okay, I worked in retail. Sometimes I would have to put out stuff in the kids section, like baby stuff. But if you have a situation where, especially in the Western world, much of the Western world, where the amount of babies being born is declined overall. I think there was a recent spike, but overall, all right. That means couples and singles aren't having kids. If they don't have kids, they don't have any reason to buy the baby stuff. They don't have any reason. Think about it. I want y'all to think about it. They don't have any reason to buy it. All of a sudden, companies that specialize in it, they get hurt. And then any vendors they deal with, they're affected. Oh, see, everything is touched. One thing touches something else. No more. The company's affected, they might have to go under. All right, then they can't supply, they might not be able to supply just a little bit what they were doing, what they were able to sell to a retail place, and then, you know, of course, then they're affected. You know, that's affecting some people's jobs. The people's jobs who are affected, all of a sudden they're not making as much money, which means, hey, they can't spend as much money. Think about it. Everything is, one thing will touch something else. They can't spend as much money. They were working there like, there's a local, at a local department store, it's Macy's. They partnered with Toys R Us. They got a little section there just for Toys R Us. But with fewer children, you don't need a big store. And it's actually smart on Toys R Us's part. That's smart on their part, because they're like, well, we don't need a major store. We just pay rent here. That changes a lot of stuff. But think about it, though. Not as many kids, and then that's affecting the toy makers. Y'all see how this works? You see how this works? Everything touches everything else. Just look at everything. I'll tell you what, here's a homework assignment. And do this on when you have the time. Think of one thing, any business, and then just start following the stuff. Like here's an example. I always talk about the vegan. I'm paying close attention to the rising vegan population, because that's going to affect some industries. Vegans, they don't eat meat. They don't even eat eggs. They don't deal with cheese. If you get a critical mass of people, particularly in America, who become vegan, when critical hits about, right now the vegan population is 6%. Let it get to 25%. All of a sudden, you get some farms who are affected. People ain't eating their food. Chickens, plants, food plants that process all of those things, put them into nice packages. You know, all of a sudden, you got a bunch of cows and chickens walking around with no place to go. You know, it could affect how many restaurants. If you look at most restaurants, they selling some type of meat. All of a sudden, if you get a cutback, just a dip, like 25% is significant. A dip, particularly in some areas where you might have a concentration of vegans. Those restaurants go out of business. Either that or they adapt. But a lot of them, quite frankly, are based. You get like the beef places and the chicken places, that's their identity. Yeah, and they'll sell some vegan sandwich or something. But their main thing, that affects their business. See, that's the thing. Look at it holistically. Just look at it. Just pick anything and just start following it, connecting the dots, following the breadcrumbs. You'll be like, wow. And it's something important, because then you can understand it. Like, I'm doing very well with what I'm doing. And trust me, but I'm always paying attention. I'm like, okay, right now, smartphones, they even getting better. I'll be all right for a very long time. You know, because one of the things in this business that really, when I really got started, I had something on my wall that said upload, because I was looking at all the smartphones and I said, people need content. People don't be on the phone all the time. They be on websites, social media and all that. Let me jump into that. Because I was looking at the bigger picture. And it'll be around for the foreseeable future. But you never know what'll happen that could even affect that. But you just pay attention. I still pay attention. I say, okay, all right, what could happen that people stop watching my videos or stop coming? You know? What could happen that would affect it profoundly? Trust me, I'm looking. And I'll keep some things to myself. I haven't seen anything significant. But I'm like thinking about it. Okay, what could happen? And right now, the only major thing is, I don't know, something that hits the power grid, like some science fiction thing, you know? But then I think, okay, the power is out. Because there was actually a TV show called Revolution where all the electricity was out on the planet, including batteries and everything. And I was like, oh, okay. Business opportunity. We got to bring back the mail, like physical mail or something. You know, got to raise a lot of horses now. But you can find some. But always look at it holistically, all right? So anyway, that's all I have for now. I'll get back with y'all. Let's go make that money.